shot, right? Hey, welcome to another meeting of State of the Web with your host, Rob Kluver. Silence, I kill you. That's the shirt I'm wearing tonight, and that's basically meant for my kids, not for you guys out there. We are totally at a loss tonight for content, but we have a lot of the layout done. But we'll just have to wing it as we go. Some of the things I was going to basically do, every show is have a set format, and I'll go over that format now so that everybody kind of gets a feeling of how these shows will go. Now, in the beginning of the show, we'll have an intro like we just saw. It might change, it might get better. We might throw in, like, you know, shots from previous episodes and stuff like that, just to spice it up a little bit. We're going to have that intro sequence. That's going to last about 2 minutes. And that's going to go into a live shot on me, like we just got right here. And that's going to be basically a little editorial from me about the state of the web. Not just our own projects, but also the state of the web overall. For instance, tonight I might be talking about Facebook. And some of you might know that they've reported their earnings for the first quarter. And it's up a little bit from last year. Not a great deal, but stockholders are still really worried about how that company is going to perform, because basically we all know Facebook sucks. They keep changing their interface. Users don't like the experience that's happening to them, the changes that are being made, the commercialization of Facebook, where they're basically trying to earn as much money as they can by inserting, you know, ads right into your timelines, pretty much blasting them all over. You can never really see those important news updates that you want from your real friends. Instead, you get a bunch of crap or a bunch of photos, but you never really get those messages from your close friends right there in your view. You know, so Facebook has a lot of issues, and this is an example of one of the state of the web things I'd be talking about when we do our editorials. Bear with me, I'm having a sir because I'm like totally stressed, but the show must go on. So, after the editorial, we were going to go into some production notes. And the production notes would basically just be talking about, you know, upgrades to the studio, things that we're doing around here to make changes for the better. Even showing off, you know, some of our equipment and how we have things set up. I'm not going to go into that tonight because I don't have any of it ready. I was going to, you know, record some material for that and show it to you. After that, we would go into what's called this week's bug update.
Are you ready? It's time for this week's bug update with your co-host Tim Long, live from Seattle, Washington.
And here's Tim. Go ahead, Tim.
Alrighty. Good evening, folks. I got a few things here. Let's start out with local town websites. You probably know about these. I'm going to be making a note of them on the forum also. The news feed appears to be down. It's not updating at all. You're just getting a spinning icon.
Yeah.
Also on LTW, there's a placeholder for a weather map at the bottom of the weather screen that needs to be taken out.
Okay, yeah.
And minor stuff.
Right.
Okay. Live TV streaming. Flash has been crashing on people the last couple days.
Yeah.
Something we mentioned last night, but I'd bring it up as part of the actual bug report.
Yeah. And thank you for bringing that up, Tim. Seth is going to soon get comfortable in switching between your shot and my shot when we're talking, so that this way they can see me and see him when he's talking. There we go.
Okay.
But I'm not even in the camera shot, so that's better there. Okay. See? What we did was we created hotkeys on the keyboard there, and we're still getting used to it. And, you know, there's no fault at all to Seth on this because, you know, I just introduced him to this, 15 minutes ago? So it's a little bit of a learning process, but basically what we're going to try to do is, like, when I'm speaking, switch to my cam. When Tim is speaking out in Seattle over Skype, it'll switch to his. And I'm going to address some of those bug issues that Tim just spoke about. And what was the first one, Tim?
Let me go back here. And I actually got a couple more, too.
Okay.
Where was it? Okay, the first one?
Yeah.
The news feed on local town websites on the individual pages. I'm just seeing the spinning icon. There's nothing coming up. In the past, it was running about a month old. And then the spinning thing is just new this week.
Okay, let me address that. The spinning logo that you're seeing, what that is actually using the Google News API. There was something that was announced about 6 months ago, and that was that they were going to deprecate the News API. So apparently what's happened over the last couple of weeks is they slowly deprecated that out. At first the news stories were kind of stale, and then now all of a sudden they've just completely disappeared and not showing up at all. So what we're going to have to do there is, you know, back to our original idea, where the news stories that you see on the page were going to be from the local communities themselves and not from Google at all. I still might put something in there to give you some of that local news back when you don't have submitted articles that are current. In the past, I've used Yahoo News services in addition to Google News and was able to get some good stuff there. So I might have to do that. I'll also look and see what other options are still existing with Google. Google's basically, you know, giving you an API. It's supposed to be free, and it does all this wonderful stuff. And then when everybody's using it, bam, that's it. It's done. It's gone. You're screwed. Google is trying to be the only provider of information to you. So when you go to Google and you look something up, they just want to give you the information and not send you to somebody else's website. Same thing, all of those little features and stuff that they give you now, they're basically just beta testing them, so they know that people like it, they know it works good, then they drop it from being able to be embedded in your site, and it's only available through Google. So that's what we have to deal with, unfortunately. What's the next bug there, Tim?
Okay, then on the weather maps, on the weather page on the local sites, here's a placeholder down at the bottom for an old map. That just needs to be deleted out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the weather page, a lot of the pages need some updates. We know we have to update that, remove some of the stale content there. From our old version of the weather page. Now we now have that interactive map, which is like our main feature now instead of all the other maps that we used to have on the bottom. So we'll definitely delete that, and we also have some other issues to address. You know, one thing I forgot to do in my opening segment, I wanted to talk about another Google product. I guess let's get through the bugs first, and then we'll go ahead through that. Tim, what was the next bug?
The next one is Flash is crashing at local TV streaming.
Ah, yeah.
Or live TV.
Okay, yeah.
It hasn't happened yet today.
Oh, that's good. I don't know if a lot of you might have noticed over the last week or two, you know, we got a recent update to Flash Player. And I've been having all sorts of problems. Seth the other night was having problems. Tim is having problems. Some other members are reporting having problems. This is not something that we can control, unfortunately, because we didn't write Flash. We didn't write the plugin. We didn't write the player. Okay? So right now we're just going to have to deal with those issues as best as we can, and we've been troubleshooting, trying to find out exactly what's getting screwed up. Now, the suggestions from the people at Firefox is that, and this won't work for the same for all browsers, but it might help, is to disable basically every other plugin except for the Flash plugin. Okay? And then try and see if your experience gets any better. Now, another problem I've noticed is with YouTube videos. They've been defaulting now to try to give you the maximum HD video on your computer, regardless of what your connection is. So if you have a low DSL connection or a higher cable connection, it's really not going to matter. They're always going to try to give you that HD content, the highest quality content first, and then slowly downgrade you to the lower level. Instead of starting from the lower level and working their way up, they're starting from the higher level and working their way down. So it causes a lot of skips and problems when you first start out. Now, Justin TV, where we're doing our live feed, also uses Flash for the embedded content. And we have that up on livetvstreaming.org. That site is still under development. I can't express that enough to you. I'm testing things, the chat there, a little bit of problems with that, but we'll get it all worked out in the next couple of weeks. But I have noticed on Justin's player, when you maximize the player, a lot of times it's going to freeze, and then if you move your mouse, it might move. I don't know if you're having that problem or something else is happening. It's just completely crashing. I've been getting, actually, today, JavaScript errors watching YouTube videos that basically locks up my browser until I tell it to either stop or continue the script. And usually, if I tell it to continue, it halts the browser again, and then I have to click stop. But sometimes when I click continue, it actually works. So, I mean, it's a toss-up. I'm hoping that the makers of the browsers and Adobe will fix the damn plugin, you know, because it just basically sucks. We're trying to do something nice here for everybody, and they're screwing it up. Okay, so unfortunately, there's not too much I can do except for just, you know, continue to monitor the bug reports and possible solutions and make them available to you so we can make the experience better for everybody. Okay. What else do we have, Tim?
All right, most popular websites. The top 20 hasn't changed. I'm wondering if that's updating.
Yes, it is. The issues there is most of the top 100 to 150 don't really rotate much. If you look at the numbers on the right side, it shows you the change from last week's value. Most of them are going to be equals 0. Because they're consistently performing at the same rate. Now, you might notice some of them jump in, you know, 2 or 3 slots, but for the most part, the top 100 websites don't change at all. Very seldom do they change, you know. It might take a few weeks before you get new contenders in there. And that's why I did the winners and losses, and that is adjustable. You know, within the top 1,000, top 10,000, top 100,000, you'll see the movers and the shakers there on the winners and the loser screens. The biggest jump will show up on your winners, and the biggest fall will show up on your losers. Okay. You know, I'm continuously working on that site, trying to make it better for everybody. One of the next things I'll be adding there is some more domain information as far as who owns it. If it's owned by a corporation, going ahead and bring their stock data in, that sort of thing. So it should get much better. You got anything else for me, Tim?
The last one. The most popular videos. DB error effectively is shutting it down sporadically throughout the day.
Okay, yeah. I have a new alert system here that I put into the studio where I can actually see when the sites go down. And unfortunately, most popular videos has been going down pretty much all the time. You know, it's supposed to run every hour, what's called an hourly update, and what it's supposed to do is check YouTube, check Meta Cafe, check Dailymotion, and bring up any videos that are starting to make some headway that day and bring them up into the most popular list for the day. YouTube changed this API, I would say about 2 months ago, and they're no longer serving that real-time data, you know, that I can get like within an hour. They'll have like an end of day or like every 12 hours, but they're not doing an hourly thing. And it used to be that we're actually doing it live. So if I pulled it right now, it would tell me the most popular videos for that day. But now it's not doing that. It's actually delaying that data. Okay. I think that there may be a problem there in the update sequence that's running every hour, and that's why some hours it goes down and some hours it doesn't. So I'll have to continuously watch that. And the other thing that we're going to be doing is fixing that up really soon, because the next show that's going to be produced is Most Popular Video Show. Okay? And that's going to be with your host, me, and Seth. And Seth, well, let's switch to your camera for a second here. Haha, there's Seth right there. Okay. Seth, what is one of your characters you think you're going to be doing for that show there?
I don't know. I'm thinking of maybe possibly the little white guy from the Birds in the City, Place to the City.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, I came up with the idea with doing Cheech and Chong or something like that, but we're not there yet. We're still doing some planning for that show, and hopefully it'll be there soon. I was going to show you guys the intro that we made for Most Popular Videos, but unfortunately we didn't program that in before we started the show, so it's going to be a little difficult to do that at this point. Let's check in again with Tim. Tim, was there any other bugs, or that was the last one?
That was pretty much the last one. There was a cosmetic one. Didn't really matter too much. Where was it?
Well, everything matters in the overall scheme of things.
That's true. What did I do with my note? Okay, most popular movies. They're missing a few thumbnails.
Yeah, that's those thumbnails actually come from the Internet Movie Database, if they're available. And again, there we have a little bit of a programming issue that somebody needs to fix, and he just hasn't gotten to it yet, but hopefully he'll get to it soon. So thanks again, Tim, for all your updates out there in Seattle. The next segment of our show is supposed to be what's new and coming soon. Yeah, well, stuff. Lots of stuff is coming soon. We have bug fixes to worry about. We have the audio simulcast of this station to install over on radiostationnet.com. If you guys don't know about radiostationnet.com, you need to go there. You can listen to just about any station out there on the web, and a nice, easy-to-use interface. And you can see the songs that are playing, and even purchase the MP3s or the entire CDs, you know, for each of the artists. There'll be some more stuff there too. LiveTVStreaming.org is getting a complete makeover. Some of you might remember it from the old TV News project, but it's now basically segmenting off one zone to be part of our project. Same authentication system. It's going to have a place there where you can watch this show live and chat with us as we're producing the show. It's also going to have, you know, the ability to watch live TV streaming from stations all around the world. Now, we're going to concentrate mainly on the United States first, but then we're going to go ahead and throw the international stuff in there as well. But for me, and for many of you out there, you know, English, U.S.-speaking shows are pretty much what we're into. I can't really understand some of the other stuff, so that's what we're going to concentrate on first. Let's see. Now, usually here at this point, we would take some chat room comments, and the only real comment that I got there is from Sandy talking about Seth's audio level. Seth, you need to speak up, man.
All right, I'll try to speak up here next time. Sorry, Sandy.
Okay.
Russell said, I still can't.
She'll probably say you still can't hear her. But she still can't hear you. Man, I get confused on this damn stupid ass stage in front of this green screen with these lights beaming on me. And it looks like, we had some people that didn't even show up tonight. But that's okay. They can watch the show later, provided the recording goes well. So now basically what we would do after the promo would be our closing, which would be just some remarks from me, some stupid crap, and then a bowl lighting ceremony and fade to Pink Floyd, but we don't have that set up either. I did buy a Pink Floyd shirt just for the purpose, but I can't even find that right now. So anyway, after that we would roll credits and we would stop the recording, and that would be the end of our show.